I love learning more and more details about previous iterations of films we've come to love. This has been happening a lot more recently with the MCU, considering they've really been retroactively looking at how far the MCU has come since its original inception. But now we found out that the original intent for Avengers Infinity War was a little bit different. It was going to be a gangster film of sorts. Before we get into the intro, let me just remind you, if you guys like this video, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you like CBC, you can always become a member for a few dollars a month and get some exclusive content. So, a gangster film, right? These are rather unique, and if you look at older gangster films, you know that they have a certain style to them. Now, ever since they announced Avengers Infinity War, we knew it was going to be some sort of version of a heist film, but we didn't really know what extent of it was going to be, and that's how they teased it when it was Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. But recently, the writers of Avengers Infinity War got to talk about the fact of how Thanos changed during the course of the development of the film. And in those early versions, and even further along in development, it was supposed to be like a gangster film. Now, what they mean by that is, essentially, you were going to have Thanos doing a voiceover and telling the story of what exactly is happening. And if you guys remember all those years back, they always teased that Infinity War, or Avengers 3, was going to be a Thanos film. That it was his film, he was the driving narrative. So you kind of start to connect the dots here of what they were saying and when they were saying it and when these ideas were formed. And it certainly would have been unique and different to everything in the MCU, but I think honestly it would have took away from the flow of watching Infinity War and Endgame back to back, because if one film is narrated by him and then suddenly the next one isn't, you have this weird crack in it because they are more or less the same film, just split in two. And that is a problem that I think they obviously saw in the long run and they decided not to go with it, but who knows how this would have turned out. And I think there would have been something cool about it, something that sets it a little bit apart from everything else. In my opinion, I think they made the right decision with this to not go down that route, to not include those aspects of old gangster films, because to me it just would have been a little weird. Would have been offsetting. It would have completely shifted the tone from how MCU films are structured in that general structure. You know, obviously they're all kind of within the same, you know, beats, if you will. Here's a joke here and it's serious moments and there's some jokes sprinkled through in there. This would have really kind of offset that to a bigger degree than anything else. So I'm okay with them not including it, but I definitely wish they would release maybe some sort of version, or at least a clip where we could see how it would have looked or sounded.